Welcome back to Lepodcast episode 19. As always, you're here with Hoop, Saney, and the infamous ZZ Huncho. Today we're doing the West version of the Young Cores series. And I feel like I'm just going to break out laughing and multiple times throughout the show. Because Z is wearing these green tinted sunglasses.
Shout out my boy Amir. Shout out Amir. My man lent me his glasses without knowing on this episode. But yeah, love you, dog.
Without knowing.
Yeah. Well, technically he left him with a friend, and then I was the person that got delivered. That they got delivered to. So now we're here. Love you, dog.
Saney, how are you?
I'm absolutely terrible.
Swear.
You just say where?
I said swear.
Oh, no, I'm great. I can't play 2K. I don't know, for some reason, every time I open the app, it crashes now, so.
It's probably all the times you raged at it and or the 75.
Very true. I heard apparently I'm like a PS5 because I got it like when it first came out, and there's a problem with it where you have to like clean the fans after a while, and it just like doesn't run games.
What?
It's so annoying. Every first console is always trash. I hate it. But
now I have a reason to not get it.
Yeah, now I'm a little.
People have been on my butt about that. Every time I tell them I have a PS4, like people DM me, like, "Yo, you want to run 2K?" It's like, "What do you mean you don't have a PS5? You're a peasant."
you get.
I'm being dead serious. That's what they say.
Nah, I would not. Honestly, if you had the opportunity to buy it at retail, get it. If you don't, if you buy it resale, you are a bot. Like you are an NPC.
I'm not buying anything resale. But diving into the episode, Saney should be in a good mood because his team's going to be a very big topic of discussion.
Yes, sir.
We're going to run through the Western Young Cores, so a group of players under the age of 25 for each team. We're going to rank our top 5 in the West, and we're going to add on a little extra at the end. We're going to run through the team previews a little quicker so we could talk about Victor Wembanyama. We had an interesting discourse before the episode. And I want to pick Saney's brain, hopefully without raising our voices, because he had some interesting things to say. But starting off with the bottom of the Western Conference with the Rockets, we have Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, Kevin Porter Jr., Alperen Sengun. Those are the big names I have.
He has the same birthday as me, by the way.
Who's this?
Alperen Sengun, or whatever. However, my man, my man. Wherever you are in the world.
Hold on, what day is that?
July 25th, 2002. Like, that has on the pot.
Bro, we celebrated his birthday on the pod, and you don't remember it?
Facts, bro. Come on now. The disrespect is crazy.
I didn't remember it either.
So are we expecting a Jalen Green breakout season like the entire city of Houston is? They have not shut up about him.
I think he will. I think
he's gonna go stupid. He's gonna be scoring and all that. But did you see that play the other night where my man was literally clamped for 23.8 seconds? He was getting clamped before he shot, bro, and didn't pass the ball at all. Like I was like, yo.
No, but that step back was.
Crazy.
Like
it was
on
Depot.
Butter. It was on Depot. Oh my god, bro.
It was blood.
That was a Mamba mentality moment right there.
Let's go through the Young Cores, like the rosters, quick this time, so we can get to the other segments halfway through this episode.
We are, yes. I just wanted to ask some sort of key question through each team. Next, we have the Thunder, who had 24 wins last season. Saney, I know. Let's let you preview the Thunder because I'm gonna miss a name. Isaiah Roby.
Oh, I can name the whole roster right now. Like I can literally name you every player that's under 24.
So give us 5.
Give you 5? I don't know if I can give you. Okay, I'll give you the 5 key players. Obviously, you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's 24. We got Chet Holmgren, who's 20. We got Luguentz Dort, my man. I love him. He's 23. We got Chet Holmgren. I believe Chet is 20. And I'll give Poku the 5th spot. Poku, who is also, I believe, 20 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong. And also, Poku has been our preseason MVP. And don't say anything, because I'm naming 6 players. Josh Giddey as well, 20 years old. Also,
you named Poku over Josh Giddey.
No, I just wanted you guys to think I forgot Josh Giddey.
Okay. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, Josh and Poku have been cooking up. Trey Man as well is a bucket, like is an underrated bucket. But I'm gonna let you continue because I can talk about the Thunder all day.
If you had to, so for some fantasy basketball advice for the viewers out there, you know the Thunder. Who you think's going to be the stat patter this year?
Oh, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I meant like an underrated. Like,
oh, you want me to be
grasp the
honest?
stats.
Josh Giddey.
Like,
I think Josh Giddey's a double player
for
this
some
year.
Stats.
You heard the man.
I think he can be a double player this year for sure.
You heard it here first.
For sure.
But going on for the Blazers, Shaedon Sharpe has been balling.
Bucket.
And there's been some
Bucket.
questions surrounding him because he barely played. Was he in college or was he in
I think G League, right?
G League OTE?
I think he was
wherever
in G
he
League.
was, he barely played.
Yeah.
But obviously he showed huge flashes beforehand. Anthony Simons as well is on the Blazers. For the Kings, I have Keegan Murray, Davion Mitchell, and De'Aaron Fox. Sabonis is over the age of 24. That is solid. The Lakers, I didn't even write anything. The Spurs, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sokan. Hopefully Victor Wembanyama for them soon. The Clippers, no one. Maybe Brandon Boston. I don't know. Terrence Mann, by the way, is 25. And
I feel old. I feel old hearing that.
Yeah, no, he's supposed to be entering his prime, and he's still barely fighting. Like, he's on the edge of the bench rotation for the Clippers.
Hey,
That's how
someone
deep
from my city that like I know signed to the Clippers actually. Shout out Nate Darling. He was supposed to come on the pod, but he got busy over the summer. Hopefully we'll get him on soon. But he's a bucket. He was a bucket in the G League. He averaged like 20 for the G League Clippers team.
I saw him on the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pelicans, Zion Williamson is under 25. Herb Jones, Dyson Daniels, and Jackson Hayes. The Timberwolves.
Did you just not say
have...
Zion Williamson?
I did.
Oh, my bad. I
Run
didn't
that
hear.
You said it
Run it
first.
back.
I love how we say run it back. I love that.
No, because I know. And there
Yeah,
was
I
one
know.
time Saney said run it back, and I did. And I was right that time.
You sound like kids.
No
Like, y'all
proof.
sound
No
like-
proof.
y'all
No
sound
proof.
like
Continue.
siblings.
No proof. No proof.
I gotta go back and find that because I don't think I ever told you when I found it. The Wolves have Jade McDaniels, Naz Reid. The Nuggets have Bones and MPJ. The Jazz have Colin Sexton, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt. Obviously, a bunch more guys, but those are the featured
Wait,
players.
Colin Sexton isn't 25? He's young. He's
like
been in the league
23.
for a while, bro.
23.
It feels like just yesterday he was asking LeBron to come and
Yeah, he was
save
in the
the
league
day.
since before. Yeah, dang. Okay.
Bro said, "Bro, come back. We can win a championship." He was like, "Oh, all right, bet. Let me fly over here for Space Jam."
You know what's
2."
crazy though is he wasn't wrong.
Hey, facts. They were building something.
You know what's crazy though is he wasn't wrong.
That's actually wild.
That's nuts.
And now he's in Utah. Ain't that about a bit? Yeah. Let's go. Let's keep rolling.
The Mavericks have Luka. The Warriors have Jordan Poole, James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody. The Grizzlies have a lot of guys. Jaren Jackson Jr., Zaire Williams, Desmond Bane. I'm missing a few. And the Phoenix Suns have Cam Johnson and DeAndre Ayton. I saw a report saying that for the Kevin Durant Suns talks, the Suns listed Cam Johnson as untradeable. What do you guys think about that?
I agree. I agree. They need that considering the fact they're gonna get rid of Jay Crowder unless they get like they fleece a team for Cam Johnson. Them getting rid of Cam would be terrible for that team, especially when they're in the spot where they want to contend and Cam is going into that position where he can be a starting 3-and-D player. There's not much
untradeable for Kevin Durant.
No, that's what I mean. Unless you're fleecing the team, unless you're getting like a sick player in return, like a superstar. Think about it. Like Cam Johnson, correct me if I'm wrong, still on his rookie contract, right? How many players that can play 3-and-D at his level are on that much of a budget? Like I'm not trading Cam Johnson.
Defense,
like in my opinion, like once Cam Johnson signs a contract, whatever. Like I'm not signing Cam Johnson for a guy like Jordan Clarkson or trading him. Sorry, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's why they labeled him as untradeable. But I'm 100% if Miami was like, yo, I'll give you Tyler Hero for him, they'll do it. You know what I mean? Like there's a line.
So now for the juicy part, we all have our top 5 lists of the young cores of the West. So let's unravel this the same way we did last time. I'll start off because they don't like when I go last. Then we'll go Saney, then Z. Starting at 5, I have the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
You know what? Like, yeah, okay.
I'm not mad.
I'm gonna say this real quick about my top 5 list. I am set on my top 3. My 4 and 5 was really hard for me to come up with.
You can't do that. Bro. See, you can't do that.
Why?
Because now
I'm just saying.
It's supposed to be an argument.
No, I can argue. I'm saying like I don't like like if you guys give an argument for my 4 and 5, I'll be like, cool, this is what I think. But my top 3 I'm set on. But my 4 and 5 was really hard to come up with, and at 5, and there's only one reason why I have him at 5.
The Thunder.
The Mavericks. And it's because of one man. And listen, don't say, oh, you went at Z for saying Tatum for the Celtics. No, I went at Z for saying Tatum for the Celtics at number 1. I said he could put him at number 5 if you just want to include Tatum at fine.
Tatum and Luke are also two different
No, but I'm just saying,
beings.
That's my reason. Don't be like you're a hypocrite for using your reasoning is just for one player.
I'm not
because I got mad at Z for putting them at 1. But I think Luka alone.
Kept him there.
Luka alone lets them be number 5.
All right, Z, number 5.
For number 5, I also actually have the Dallas Mavericks. It's actually crazy, and it's because of Luka.
So at number 4, I have the Timberwolves.
At number 4, I also have the Timberwolves.
At number 4, I have the Houston Rockets.
At 3, I have the New Orleans Pelicans.
At 3, I have the Houston Rockets.
At 3, I have the New Orleans Pelicans.
At 2, I have the Mavericks.
Wow.
This breaks my heart. This breaks my heart, man. This breaks my freaking heart. At 2, I have the Thunder.
Well, we gotta talk, but we gotta talk.
Wait, did we just okay?
He said that. Go for it, Z.
I have the OKC Thunder at 2.
I have the Grizzlies at 1.
I also have the Grizzlies at 1.
I also have the Grizzlies at 1.
So
That's
I have
crazy.
I don't have the Thunder on here.
Why?
I don't think they have a 1A.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I don't think he's a 1A.
Why? He has the stats.
He's
he has the stats to back up
on a
any
winning
other
team.
Yeah, he can be. Why not?
You just told me he was when we were doing the top 100 list. You said he was not a number 1 option on a championship team.
Right now,
I'm talking
he can
about
be.
I'm
saying right now. Young core.
No,
we're talking about the young core. Yeah, young core is the future. Young core is the future. We're talking about the young core
is the future.
Yeah.
Exactly. You think Shea is going to develop into a 1A on a championship team?
Why not? I was talking in the moment on my top 100.
I cannot get with that. You think so? We have Ja Morant,
right?
Luka Doncic,
right?
Zion Williamson,
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
Anthony Edwards,
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
That is nuts. That is nuts.
No, it's not nuts. That's not nuts at all. And I'll come back to you in 2 years. I'll come back to you in 2 years, and I'll tell you, hold my nuts. Oh wait,
please do.
I didn't mean to say it like that. You guys said that's nuts. It was the thing in my head.
You see, you can't even say it seriously. That's crazy.
No, I'm laughing at the joke. Nah, I genuinely think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can be in that discussion of players in the next 2 years.
Goodness.
I can. And also, we have a superstar in Chet Holmgren coming next year. We have Josh Giddey, who's going to be the new best playmaker of the league. He's our next Rajon Rondo. We got Luguentz Dort, the best 3-and-D player in the next 3 years. You can take my word for it. We got Poku, the freaking wherever he's from, magician. We got a sick team, man. Like, you got to put us in the top 5
I
at
agree.
Least.
I think they're right under the Rockets. I'd have them above the Warriors.
See,
I think the Warriors are more like 7-8.
I have them above the Rockets. I have them right above the Rockets. I think the Rockets are close.
I mean, the Rockets were close, but
I agree. I think the Rockets and the Thunder are close. That's why I have them 1, 2, and 3 with each other. But I think the Thunder edge out.
I think
the Thunder edge out. The Thunder.
Give me a full list.
Okay, so I had
the Thunder over.
Who are they over? They're over the Mavs and they're over the Timberwolves.
Where are the Pelicans?
I wanted to put the Pelicans on the list. I really did.
So
I put the Mavericks over them literally just because of Luka, because Luka alone proved he's 23 and he's already going to the freaking. You guys all have like Luka is a young core.
You don't have to explain that.
But you can understand why I put the Mavs on the list, but I'm just saying.
Yes, I have the Mavs at 2. I think because I think the Grizzlies. We can all agree.
They're so young and they're so
they can
sick.
Be.
They're so.
They
sick.
have the potential to be in the Western Conference Finals for half a decade.
Yeah, no.
Right.
You can't not put the Grizzlies at 1 because not only are they a young core, they prove they're gonna win. It's not like I think they're gonna win. They have potential. No, their potential is like.
I've been saying it. If there's any team in the Western Conference that can knock off the Warriors, any young team in the next 2 2 years, it's the Grizzlies.
I will say this, though.
Their grit and grind style is something that I think that the Warriors struggled with back in 2015 with that Grizzlies team. But this one is high flying and alley oops and defense from JJJ.
And Desmond Bane can light it up too.
Desmond Bane is 25 though, is he not, or is he 24?
And Dylan Brooks is just there.
Desmond Bane's in the age.
Yeah, Desmond Bane's 23 or 24. 24.
He's 24.
Yeah.
Either way, I still have them. I still have them.
Where I was going with that, I think they'll be in the Western Conference Finals for half a decade if they stay together.
I will say this though, I feel like the Grizzlies will fall off a bit. They're still going to be playoff, but they're not going to be second seed this year because the West is too competitive.
I agree. No.
Yeah,
what we're talking about for the
their best
young core for the future.
Yeah, for sure.
For the future,
for sure.
The Mavericks, I think Luka alone gives you the highest floor out of any other player.
Yeah.
That's why I have him at 2. I don't want to talk about injuries when I'm talking about the Pelicans, but obviously you have to at least think about it a little bit and availability.
Yeah.
Which is why even though they might have another championship level piece in Herb Jones, he could be that plug at the 3. I'm not comfortable. I'd still take a team with Luka. Then the Wolves, and obviously looks to have a breakout year. They have another championship level role piece in McDaniels, who's a great defender, but there isn't much else dynamic talent there. I think Naz Reid was their 3rd. And then the Rockets have a lot of raw potential. I just don't know what Jalen Green is going to develop into. I guess that's kind of unfair to put him that low, but at the same time, I need to see a little bit first.
I'll say this too. For mine, I got the Warriors right outside of the top 5 at 6. But the reason that I have them there is because I know they can possibly jump into the top 3 in the next 10 years.
So who are you omitting?
From the top 5?
Out of the Grizzlies, Mavs, Pelicans, T-Wolves, Rockets, Thunder, who are the Warriors over at the 6th spot?
The Timberwolves. I'd say that.
Okay.
Give me some more names. Keep going. So run me back the same names.
I can understand why you say the Timberwolves, but I think Ant alone makes the Wolves have a better young core.
That's why I think their floor is high.
Because the Warriors' floor is very low with their young core.
I could see the reasoning behind Wiseman, but I don't think Wiseman is going to live up to.
That's what I mean. The floor is much lower. The floor is much lower.
This is how I'm visioning it, right, for the foreseeable future or whatever. I'm looking at JP. I'm looking at the Cum Bucket. I'm looking at Moses Moody. I'm looking at James
JP gonna be looking at a Magic jersey soon, bro. If they don't get rid of Draymond.
You know damn well they're getting rid of Draymond over Jordan.
No, you know what they're gonna do? They might keep both because Draymond's price is gonna hit the floor.
Draymond's gonna take that pay cut. He know what he needs to do. Anyway, the point is that out of those 4 guys, I'm looking at the Warriors as a dynasty, right? Just came off a championship. What their next steps are going to be, because the Warriors literally it's interesting to look at them as a team because they have their future right for you to see.
If you can so I don't mind looking at past success and then attributing to that. Maybe it'll rub off on these guys.
That's what I'm thinking.
If you were to just take the 3 or 4 of them, I personally think they are built to have a superstar come in and lead them to a title. They have the dynamic guard, they have a defensive wing, and they have. I think James Wiseman at the bare minimum will be a very solid big for a while. With his athleticism, he could tap in. I know I've seen Warriors fans call him pretty awful so far, but he's very raw.
He's a raw prospect.
He's very raw, but I don't see them. The reason they're not on my list is because they don't have a Jalen Green, they don't have an Ant, they don't have a Zion. It's built to be a very good team. I just don't have the X factor. That's the hardest part to get. That's why I have Luka. Burning the Mavs at 2. So
I had to put Luka over him just because, like you said, Luka's been traveling through hell and high water for the past 2
the easiest players to build around.
Could you relist could you give me your 5th again, Hoop?
Rockets.
And your 4th?
T-Wolves.
Why would you put the T-Wolves over the Thunder as a young core?
I think Ant has higher potential than Jalen Green. I think Ant has fringe top 10
So
player
it's just
potential.
but I do understand the point where it's
I think it's easy to build around Ant when you already have the defensive forward. I think I
don't agree. I think the Rockets and Thunder have a better young core than the Minnesota Timberwolves. I can see your point to it, but I think the only players that I can apply that idea where it's at least for the Western, where it's I literally only need you to make me put you on
a
this
different
list
level, of
is
course.
Luka. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Because I other than Ant, I really don't like Jaden McDaniels. Sure, I think honestly, I did have Jaden McDaniels having a little bit of a breakout season before Rudy Gobert came in. I feel like he's not gonna have as big of a role.
That does impact things.
Yeah.
I see what you mean there, because the Rockets are primed to develop now.
Same with Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They're not in a position where they're telling their young guys, you need to go out and win right now. They're in a position where they're like, go get as many minutes and as much experience as you can, because in like the next 2-3 years we want to contend. The Minnesota Timberwolves have a different mindset where their young guys aren't going to play other than Anthony Edwards. I don't see any other young guy here that's going to get any minutes. Jaden McDaniels is an exception, but even then he's going to get a cut.
I feel you.
I think
Naz Reid is not going to touch the court anymore. Like, I don't see Naz Reid even touching the court. They have 2 centers starting, and then Luka Garza, he's not going to get that much either.
No.
Anthony Edwards is really the only guy playing, but it's not like a Luka Doncic type player where I'm like, you know what? All he needs to do is play, and they're going to go to the playoffs. And you know what
it is? To go even further, I like the Rockets over the T-Wolves now, only because not only because, but D'Lo's also still controlling the backcourt, which is limiting Anthony Edwards' ability to become a better playmaker. And that's what Luka has. That's what Cade Cunningham has. That's why all these great playmakers, it's the best building block for your team, because not only can they develop others, but it's the greatest way to have. It's the easiest way to build around.
So why not put the Thunder over the Wolves now that I gave you these? What is stopping the Thunder from going over the Wolves then? Because I think you have the Thunders at 6, right?
I still don't think they have a 1A.
You don't think Chet Holmgren can develop into a 1A?
Not a 1A. I think he could be a
I
think Ant could be a 1A. I think the 1A is the hardest part to get.
I wouldn't think that.
I don't think Ant could be a 1A because he can't be a primary ball handler.
I think Ant could be. I don't think we've seen is what other shooting guards have been 1As. Like, I don't think they need to be primary. I mean, he could develop into that.
James Harden.
Okay.
Those are guys I think of when I think of like 1A shooting guards. You know what I mean?
I mean, like there's wings who are like.
I feel like Anthony Edwards to me is the perfect complement to a superstar.
Is Ant a horrible ball handler?
No, he's not horrible. I didn't say he was horrible, but I don't think he's a 1A caliber player on a championship team.
Well, he's still developing. Would you say that Jimmy Butler's a 1A? I think that's fringe. I think Ant has better scoring potential than him.
He does, but my thing is like for the ball handling aspect, like
I think in terms of ball handling, he'll be fine. I think that playmaking is something that you could be questionable.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Playmaking, ball handling, like it's all that, like the ability to have the ball in your hand all the time, like the usage rate, like to have a usage rate of a 1A player. I don't think Ant.
I think
in a championship, he will get it. He will get it.
That's why we're talking.
Can he be Can he be the 1A of a championship team?
I think he can be. Yeah.
Would you say that it would be him, or would you say that it would be Cat if this hypothetical?
That's what I mean. I think Cat's the one.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think Cat's the 1A.
I don't think Cat is not. Cat's not a killer. I want to bring that killer instinct into this. Cat's not a killer.
Time to be the 1A. He has had so much time. He has went through Andrew Wiggins and Zach LaVine and Jimmy Butler beating the third.
Don't say Zach LaVine. Don't say Zach LaVine. Don't say Zach LaVine.
He's no. He's been through young core after. How many young cores has he been a part of since he got drafted? Now he has stuck with Anthony Edwards.
2. He's been a part of 2.
Who's coming in as the new guy.
He's been a part of 2. If you're gonna use that, and this is the second one.
Andrew Wiggins. There was a moment in time where Andrew Wiggins.
But
Zach
don't
LaVine,
blame Carl Anthony Towns on that
the same
reasoning, bro.
team.
Don't blame that on Andrew Wiggins. Was literally Andrew Wiggins on Minnesota was considered a big bust until he went to the Warriors, and now everybody thinks his whole career has been like this. Andrew Wiggins was nice in his first 3 seasons, and then ever since then he fell off. How is that Carl Anthony Towns?
Can I ask you a question?
So let me ask you about. Go ahead.
Can I? Where would you rack? So, Cat, can you say he's in his prime right now and he's not going to get all that much better? He could improve, possibly defensively, maybe. Whatever.
I think Rudy Gobert is going to help him hit his. I think his peak is coming up because like defensively he's going to have help and he's going to be able to. Yeah, I think he's.
Where would you rank Cat in the NBA?
That's a hard question.
Even as far as centers go,
I can say he's a top 5 center.
Yeah. For sure.
I can say that too, but it's different to be a 1A on a good team. I think Ant has potential to be a fringe top 10 player in the NBA.
You think Ant has potential to be a top 10 player in the NBA?
He could be a 10,
Yeah.
11, 12 guy,
I'm looking
100%.
at well, we also have to take into account the amount of talent that we have been blessed with by the basketball gods in the recent draft class.
No, that's
So the
exactly
future's
why
gonna
I.
be-
That's why exactly why like I'm like I can see Ant getting to like
see
11 or
it?
12, but like you said, like there's so much talent coming in, and there's so much talent right now that by the time that talent,
So hold on.
by the time
hold on,
that
hold
talent
on. You
right
think
now,
Shea is going to overcome that talent?
100%, he plays on the Oklahoma City Thunder. You think I'm
Oh
ever
my!
gonna?
See, that's
Same.
some
100%.
nasty
100%.
stuff. You want to talk about all this new
100%.
talent coming in?
100%.
Shea cannot hang.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Shea will
whoa, whoa,
never
whoa.
be a top 10 player in the NBA.
Okay.
Oh my God,
Okay.
his feelings are
You
hurt.
owe me a kidney if he is a top 10 player.
What do you mean is? How do you find out if he is? You just know he won't be. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander will never be a top 10 player in the NBA.
Okay,
That
sure.
is nuts.
Cool. Keep that same energy.
Shay,
Keep
if
that
you're
same
watching this is your villain origin story, but I'm not a part of it.
energy.
It's an FYI.
That is putrid.
I also don't think you will be top 10, but that's just my thoughts.
I just
12,
think
yes.
Ant has the more potential.
I think Oklahoma is a much better built young core, has a much better built young core. And okay, sure, I can see your perspective where it's like they don't have a 1A, but they have so much talent that I would still take their young core over Anthony Edwards and whatever else the Minnesota Timberwolves have as a young core. Because Anthony Edwards isn't the type of player, in my opinion, where I'm like, throw him on the court, I'm going to the playoffs, I'm going to go to the Western Conference Finals, blah, blah, blah. He's not that type of player. He's not. And when I look at the Thunder, I look at this team and I'm like, this team has the potential to be a championship team. Look at this roster. This roster has everything it needs. The only thing we're missing right now is a true big.
It's a 1A. When's the last time you saw a team win a chip without a 1A? When's the last time? All I'm saying is if we speed these guys up, like if they're just playing at age 27, obviously the Thunder have more.
Chet Holmgren can be a 1A.
in-
You're tripping. Chet Holmgren can be a 1A.
Whatever.
He can be a 1A.
I could whatever. So
I'm
if
taking
they're
Victor
playing and
Wembanyama
Ant's
over.
27, all these other guys are like 25, 27, the Thunder would win. But there's just more parts of the team, and when they fill in around Ant, I'm more comfortable with saying the Timberwolves, with the help around Ant, can be a championship team because he is the 1A. I don't see that unless the Thunder bring in someone else. I think that's the hardest part.
Fair?
Nah. I'm just looking at this roster right now, man, and I get your point. Whoa, no. Like, not to troll. Like, I do 100% get your point with, like, the 1A argument. And if you were talking about, like, the Mavericks, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You can literally give Luka anybody he wants. He's still going to beat this Thunder team in a 7-game series. I can't say the same thing about Anthony Edwards. I can't. I think in 5 years, once that Timberwolves team gets older, Rudy Gobert falls out of his prime, D'Lo is probably going to be out of his prime by then. Cat will still be good, and you have that Ant Timberwolves team, and they go up against this Thunder team in 5 years. This Thunder team destroys them. They have too many pieces. It's a team.
It's a team.
It's
you
a
don't
team
know
game.
what the Timberwolves are gonna have.
No, but I'm just saying we're looking at their young core though. We're looking at like
We
their
are.
young core, right? Excuse me.
Are we just saying they're playing like a 3-on-3 young guy for young
No,
guy?
no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I have more trust.
You're going to build
I have more
around
trust.
this young core.
Exactly. I think this young core is much better to build around than the Minnesota Timberwolves. Because the Minnesota Timberwolves, again, you got to remember, and I could say the same argument for Oklahoma, sure, but Oklahoma already has these guys, so I'm going to use the same argument for Minnesota. Minnesota is a terrible place to go to in free agency. It's not a place where you can easily convince people to come to.
We're bringing that
No, but you're like, you could build a team around Anthony Edwards and then blah, blah, blah. It's a small market team. The weather is trash. Nobody wants to move to Minnesota. I could say the same about Oklahoma. I'm not saying that.
The weather was trash.
Yeah, because you're saying, your point was Anthony Edwards is one of those guys, you're a 1A, and you could build a team around them. You can get pieces in and build it around. That's what you said, right? The only way they're doing that, but the only way they're doing that. No, I'm being serious because your point, bro, listen to me. Your point was that Anthony Edwards is that guy where you're like, in 5 years or whatever, he can be a 1A on a championship team and Minnesota can build a team around him. The only way they're going to build that team is if they do it through trading or the draft because nobody is signing to Minnesota.
That's a good point.
Nobody is signing to Minnesota. But the thing is with the Thunder, and the
use...
reason why I have the Thunder over them is because they already have the players on the roster. Your point was that Anthony Edwards is a 1A and you can build a team around him. I dare you to build that team in Minnesota. I dare you. If you're going to talk about Anthony Edwards on a different team, sure. If your point is...
See, that's what I don't like. If Anthony Edwards was in LA, it would be,
much easier, 100%, but he's not.
I don't think
we're talking about the Minnesota
Timberwolves
Timberwolves young core, though. We're not talking about it as just a young core. We're talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves young core compared to the Oklahoma City young core.
That's a nasty
Oklahoma City
argument.
already has the players on the team.
So, hold on. So, Sandy, can I ask you, if you're building a championship team around this squad in 5 years, what are you missing?
You know what? Yeah, sure. Bring in. We need a superstar, but I think Chet Holmgren can develop into a superstar. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can tap into a superstar level. I think Josh Giddey, not superstar. Don't say I was gonna call Josh Giddey a superstar. I think he's a superstar in my heart, obviously. I think Josh Giddey is gonna turn into one of the best.
He could be an all-star.
He could be an all-star. He can tap into.
How are you gonna pay all them?
He can turn into an all-star
level.
All them? No, but listen. He can turn into an all-star level player, but I don't think he will make an all-star team because he's a guard in the West.
Z, you gotta say something.
He's a guard in the West. He's a guard in the West. That's the issue with Giddey. I don't think
he's a guard in the NBA. The talent level.
Even East or West, you're right. I think Giddey's play style isn't an all-star, like, because you gotta remember fans' votes are included, and his TikTok fame already died out.
Unfortunately.
So one move, one trick pony.
Yeah, but the issue with Giddey being an all-star is that he would really have to elevate his game scoring-wise to even be considered. Bro, guards are averaging like 25 and not getting in the game. Like, if CJ McCollum isn't getting in the all-star game, I don't think Josh Giddey will. But I think Josh Giddey can develop into a Rajon Rondo type player where he'll be like a consensus. Am I saying that word right?
Yeah.
Top 5 ball handler / playmaker in the league. I think his IQ is through the roof. I think he's a great piece to have on there where he makes everybody around him better, which is a great player to have on a team, obviously. I think the way this team is built, like Darius Bazley, he's an underrated scorer. Trey Mann is an underrated scorer. Again, Chet Holmgren, I feel like he's going to be one of the best defensive players in the league very soon.
Do you think they're going to keep all these guys?
I think so. Because none of these guys are max type player. None of these guys are max contract players other than Shai Gilgeous. And maybe Chet Holmgren will tap into that level.
If you're paying Shai and Chet near maxes,
yeah,
and you have Giddey, you have whoever.
But we've seen other teams pay money like that. The salary cap
on top of bringing in a free agent superstar to win a championship.
Well, no, you know what? Maybe trade some pieces. Trade some young guys and get in a young superstar. There might be a team that wants to pull the trigger quick. Like, for example, when the Spurs got rid of Kawhi, they traded him for DeMar DeRozan. Like, you'll never know. There might be a situation where things break out and Oklahoma can pull the trigger. They did it with Paul George. They got Paul George for Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. At the time, was a fleece, but they obviously ended up being really great. Nobody expected it, let's be honest. But Oklahoma, you got to remember, Sam Presti is the GM, and Sam Presti does wonders as a GM. He is great in the front office. So I have no issue in trusting that man bringing us in a superstar. No issue bringing us a superstar. I can't say the same about Minnesota. I can't say the same about Minnesota. And I understand your point, where you're like, oh, that argument is dumb, where you're actually bringing in,
I didn't know we were bringing in other factors.
100%, and I understand your argument, and I understand why you would put the Minnesota Timberwolves. But me, you know me, I like to actually look at the future, the realistic situations.
You like the Thunder.
I do love the Thunder. I am being a little biased.
The realistic situation of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being a top 10 player in the NBA.
Sure. You could call me biased, 100%. You could call me biased, but also at the same time, you have to agree with me that nobody wants.
I'm a realist.
Nobody's gonna want to go to Minnesota, bro. Let's be honest. Like, it's gonna be very hard to build that supposed team around Anthony Edwards. That's all I have to say. And they're not a championship team right now. Cat's talking about championship or bust. All right, well, you're about to have a big bust in the first round. Pause. Whoa.
For the honorable ZZ Huncho as he takes his honorable sip.
There he goes with his wine glass.
Now, gentlemen, we'll address Saney's pause moment at a later date. Moving forward, I have exciting news that I feel like I need to share, and that's a move in my list that's just happened. I am swapping my number 5 for my number 3, which is the Dallas Mavericks for the New Orleans Pelicans, and moving them at the 5. The reason is, as you two have been conversating for the last 20 minutes, I've been sitting here listening and, breathing it all in. And Hoop, you and Saney both kind of got me on the same wavelength about Luka, even though you spent the last 20 minutes talking about Josh Giddey and SGA being top 10, whatever. But Luka is Luka, bro. At the end of the day, it got me thinking. Like, if you put anybody on that damn team, Luka can do something with kind of anything. I guarantee you, JaVale McGee is going to be considered a top 10 center this year.
No.
Oh, sorry. That
was a little too far.
That slipped. JaVale McGee, I promise you, will be doing pretty well this year with Luka Doncic. But I'm saying, With Zion, though, I took into account like the injury, but I don't feel like it's going to be that big of a deal for him. I feel like he's still going to go out there and be dominant. Like, his team's going to be great or whatever. But Luka is a carrier, and he has shown that since he walked in the doors of the NBA. So I feel like if you give him someone like a Christian Wood now, and then you can flip that for something, and then end up with another 25-year-old. Luka can make magic. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call him El Nino Malavor. My man.
You pronounced that completely wrong.
Does it matter? Does it matter? No. You know who I'm talking about.
For all the Spanish viewers out there,
for all the Spanish viewers out there, como estás? Muy bien. Y tú, me llamo Zizi Huncho.
So there's some Zizi Huncho Espanol for the chicos and chicas. I took Spanish. I don't remember a lick of that. But is there anything else to say regarding the top fives? Because I would love to bring this into another segment.
Let's move on. I don't think I'm gonna get you to agree to put the Thunder top five, which is still blasphemous to me.
No, they can definitely, if you want to talk about them versus the Rockets, possibly. Like, it's not a, but
you think Jalen Green can be a 1A over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Like, what?
Hold on. Let's move on. That's why I said it, because I'm more set on the Timberwolves. But Ja Morant is something I wanted to talk about. I made a point guard list the other day on my TikTok, and it was projecting the top 10 point guards after this year. So based on how they progress this year, who will the top 10 point guards be? I had Tyrese Halliburton at 10, which ruffles some feathers. And my hottest take was probably Ja Morant at 3. I have to go back and look at it, but I think I had Trey at 4. And apparently that's blasphemous to have Trey under Ja after this season. I want to hear what you guys think.
I could agree, because Trae Young is literally the focal point of that offense and is a maestro at what he does. I love watching Trae Young facilitate as a low-key. He has a mix to his game. He's small. He can shoot, obviously, but he knows how to pass too. He can pick and roll and pick and pop and do all the things and get the guys in the right spots. For Ja, however, I just feel like Ja is in a situation where that chemistry between him and Jaren and Desmond and Dylan is at an all-time high, to the point where, like, Ja Morant on a fast break, if Jaren Jackson's dribbling the ball, he's going to throw that up to Ja, and vice versa. They just have this thing. So I feel like Ja's more a part of a show that's already like that is a combination of talent compared to Trey conducting the rest of the talent that he has to work with, like a John Collins. But he has DeJounte Murray in here now, so I don't know. I don't know how that's going to really differentiate his assist to turnover ratio, all that BS. But I don't know what really that's going to do. But I would say that Trey is not really going to change that much as the 1A point guard.
I don't think Trey has anywhere else to develop aside from getting his numbers up, possibly in the future. Obviously, with DeJounte, that's tough, but he becomes more efficient, whatnot. My reasoning for putting Ja at 3 and Trey at 4 was their playoff performing. Obviously, Trey has had a signature moment, but if you go back and watch the Knicks series, it was really like Bogdanovich and Gallinari that were destroying us. Trey was the facilitator, but he was like, looking at these numbers right now, he was very inefficient in the playoffs. He was 41% in the Knicks playoffs, that run. And he obviously got smoked by Miami last year. He was at 31%. The first year he was 31% from 3, and then this year 18% from 3. Ja Morant during the playoffs has raised his performance like to a Luka level in terms of the elevation, because Luka averages like a very near triple double, which is better than his regular season stats.
32-point triple.
Ja Morant this regular season, he was 27.4, 6.7, 5.7 boards. This year's playoffs, he was 27, 10, and 8. Before that, the year before that, he was 38 and 4 and 5. So pretty efficiently too.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Ja, and I understand the knocks for Trey because I give him the same knocks for the inefficiency. So I can totally see, people looking at Ja Morant as better than Trae Young, because a lot of people for some reason, people that hate Ja Morant, I don't know. Like, I don't hate Ja Morant. I don't know why people do that. It's a trend. But
yeah, because
y'all
people
know
think he's corny and all that.
yeah, but y'all know for a fact that every single Ja Morant highlight y'all are liking and commenting and saying, "Oh my God, he's so like." I don't understand. That's how NBA fans annoy me. Where they're like, they'll be one way, like one day, and then if you do something great, like if Ja Morant, if they throw him if Steven Adams throws him a full court pass and he catches it in midair and shoots it and it goes in, everybody's on Ja's jockstrap, and I'm just like, bruh, y'all were just hating on him for losing in the playoffs. Y'all hate. I've never seen somebody get hated on for getting hurt. Like, literally. Ja got hated on for getting hurt.
And you know what it is? Because the Grizzlies are such a good basketball team.
Right.
I think a lot of that is because of Ja Morant.
Right.
And we don't see it because, obviously, when he's out there rolling. But just the overall increase in playoff performance, I think he is feared as an opponent. Like, the Warriors were...
Oh,
like,
100%.
Like, he is feared.
100%.
I don't know if Trey Young in clutch moments is him, but in terms of a playoff series, I don't think you look at him the same way based on his performance.
Like, I'm sorry, but Ja Morant, like, I'm sorry,
like,
to
Ja's
break
a
it to y'all.
killer.
Like, Ja may not be my number one favorite player in the league, but he's dunking on my favorite player in the league.
And there's a wide gap. Let me just say, there's a wide gap between Curry and Doncic and then Morant. So him being a 3 is not like, you think he's, coming.
Yeah, I'm not black. It's not,
no
but like,
chance.
I don't think you're crazy for saying he's over Trey. I think it's like,
crazy.
I think for me, honestly, it's like
after this season.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for me, it's so close that I would more label it as like Ja Morant is 3A, Trey is 3B, but I'd still put Ja over Trey. So technically, it's going to go 3-4, but it's very close. I don't think you're ridiculous for saying that, and I think it's ridiculous that you got hate for saying that.
I mean,
Ja is just outside of the inefficient.
People are living off of the 2021 playoff
like
run.
Russ and Julius.
People
Randle.
are living off that 2021 playoff run. I will say that.
Ja Morant's grittying is apparently the corniest thing. And don't get me wrong, he's a cornball, but
he's a cornball. He's a cornball, but he's my cornball.
My cornball.
And
you can see I got the action figures laid up in the.
Let's those are dope. I saw Hasbro sent you those. Those are dope.
I'm so pumped about those.
Let's we had a little discussion before this episode, didn't we, Hoop?
Oh, we already had it. Me and Saney already went at it.
But you didn't even let me say my real point. So I'm gonna say it now, and nobody's gonna disagree, because if you do, you're just a hater. See you later.
Word.
See you later.
Can't relate her. All right. I'll introduce it. I haven't introduced a topic in ages. I think me and Z haven't introduced a topic since like episode 5.
It's crazy.
Because Hoop is just a dictator around here. No, I'm joking. Yeah. So this is my first introduction to a topic in a while, but it's about Victor Wembanyama. If you don't know who that is, then you genuinely don't watch sports. Don't know what to tell you.
Real.
Thank you for listening to Lepodcast at that point, because we're the segue into your sports world. But obviously 7-4
big shout out though, because I've gotten a lot of DMs saying that you got me into basketball. Big love.
That's dope.
Oh yeah, big love to everybody out there, because a lot of people have been dropping in saying they love the show, like in DMs, comments, like love you guys.
I hate it, to be honest. I hate it.
That's actually wild.
I actually don't like either of these two. But
that's a wild statement. That's a very wild statement.
So me and Hoop were discussing, and I'm gonna say the thing first, but don't call me crazy until you hear my reasoning. But I'm not gonna explain it as I say the thing. We were talking about Victor, and obviously the big thing around Victor is that he's the next LeBron. He's the best prospect since LeBron, not the next LeBron. Sorry, it's the best NBA prospect we've seen since LeBron James, which I do agree with. And I said Victor has bust potential. There's a reason I said that. And I'm going to explain it now, and then me and Hoop can argue. Because me and Hoop love to just go at each other. And then we just ended off there. But the reason Victor has...
We're friends off camera, don't worry.
Of course. The reason I would say that Victor has bust potential is all due to the mental part of the game. And what I mean by that is we have seen many examples of athletes who come in as a number one prospect, but it's a different feeling. We've seen number one prospects, and we've seen prospects that get put on the LeBron James, Michael Jordan type level where they're like, this is the next MJ, this is the next LeBron, this is the best prospect since this guy. We haven't seen anything like him, blah, blah, blah. And they get all this media attention from a young age, and especially now with social media, where that stuff can get to your head. And the reason I said Victor has bust potential is because I'm seeing him. And the thing is, it could be the exact opposite. He could be using this to mature himself and understand the position he's in. I don't know the guy at all. So I'm not judging Victor at all. I'm not saying that.
Hey, Victor.
I'm not saying that he has a dumb mindset and he's just going to be focused on the media. He's not going to be focused on the game. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I've seen many examples of players who come in with that much hype from different sports too. Johnny Manziel is a great example. Became a cokehead. Viewer discretion is advised for listening to that. But seriously, he went number 1 to the Browns, and now he plays in this like weird Canadian league. And he was supposed to be insane. There's a lot of sports guys who come in with a lot of hype. And the reason I say Victor has bust potential is because if he can learn to use the media in a way where he's not consumed by it, where he's not distracted by it, because we all know, we've all played sports here, mental is a big part of it. If you're not in a right mental state, you're off your game. That's just a fact. And when you have that much attention on you, yeah, you're cool right now. Remember Zion coming into the league? Everybody loved that guy. He got injured once. He looked a little chubby once. He literally came out the other day during media day and said that I almost swore, affected him so much mentally. Like he felt like he wasn't the same person because of the comments he was receiving. Victor Wembanyama being put on a stage like that, he is due. It is like only a matter of time. I'm telling you right now, that guy is about to receive so much hate. LaMelo saw the same hate. Ja Morant saw the same hate. Zion Williamson saw the same hate. But we saw these guys overpower it, and they're becoming superstars for sure. But Victor, I feel like, is getting exposed to it a little too early for me to be confident that he'll be able to have that ability to be consumed by the media and still be able to focus on himself. Which is why I need to see him on the spotlight for like a year or two, come into the league, and then I'll be like, you know what? He's proven to me that he can handle the media. He can handle the mental aspect of the game. Player-wise, he's going to dominate. He's not a league talent. He's a worldwide talent. He's like a once-in-a-lifetime type player. Never seen anything like him. I just really hope that the media doesn't ruin him like they did with many other players in the past.
Time for the rebuttal. Can you name off a couple players that you think have been ruined by the media in terms of
D'Angelo Russell?
I gave a few earlier.
D'Angelo Russell is a big one.
Who else?
Tyreek Evans and OJ Mayo were big ones.
How tall is
OJ Mayo, bro. By the way, there was like slam covers and like all the shit back then that he was going to be the next Michael Jordan.
How tall is OJ Mayo?
Ben Simmons is a big one as well. I think he's like 6'5". I'm not saying Victor and OJ Mayo are on the same level. I told you, Victor is a worldwide talent.
What do you mean by bust?
By bust, I mean like the mental aspect of the game where it's like he's gonna like we've seen players where like the media just ruins their game.
Bust as in out of the league within 6 years?
No, because when I talk about Victor, like he'll still be in the league, he still has a spot in the league, obviously, but I don't think he's gonna like. For me, it's like
nowhere near All-Star.
Nowhere near All-Star. It could be possible depending on how, like
career bench player.
Yeah, you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. That's all I'm gonna say.
I just want to hear.
Taco wasn't a like a number one prospect.
Before I start, I just want to hear what your parameters are for being a bust in this case.
It depends on your expectations coming into the league. Like I wouldn't call a second round. I wouldn't call a second round pick. I wouldn't call a second round pick that doesn't become an All-Star a bust.
So
but I would call
paint a picture of Wembanyama's career if he were to end up as a bust. I just want to know what I'm referencing.
Never became an All-Star is a bust. Becoming an All-Star, but only a few-time All-Star, never doing anything special other than that is a very underwhelming career.
Okay.
Compared to what he's, bro. Think about the the spotlight that he has on him right now. That's why I'm saying bust potential. That's why I'm saying bust potential, because it's like the media is already painting
a very
him.
strong word.
If you're I can, you know what? I can agree with that.
I cannot call Anthony Bennett a bust and Wembanyama a bust.
I can, you know what? I can 100% see your point where you're like, you have different definitions of bust. But when I say the word bust, I mean like you had this expectation. Anthony Bennett never had the expectation to be a superstar.
It was a first overall pick.
Yeah,
what?
That was the worst. Literally in the moment. No. Don't say what. Go look back at it. In the moment, everybody laughed at the Cavaliers for picking him first. He was not supposed to be first. He wasn't supposed to be first. I'll even pull up the mock draft right now. Anthony Bennett was not supposed to go first. He was supposed to go like 7th that year. He was not. The fact that the Cavs drafted him was a joke, bro. He wasn't supposed to go first.
But the fact that he was the first overall pick, that sets some expectation onto you.
And he bust because he didn't do anything. Pause.
Yes, he.
Bro,
Pause.
y'all have been saying that.
But
like
for example,
8
like
times.
Anthony Bennett
let
came
me-
into the league, nobody was like he's gonna be a superstar. He's a generational talent, bro. Do you not see the things that they're saying about Victor Wembanyama already?
Hold on. I don't think the Victor expectations are set yet. I think when
Oh, they
all
are.
the
What do you,
scouts
bro?
gather around.
What?
No,
Have you
it's
not-
set for the fans. I'm just talking about the guys who are actually making the rankings.
No,
'Cause
NBA
no one was
GMs
talking
and
about
NBA
Anthony
scouts, they're
Bennett
calling him
the
world.
year before.
They're not. There's literally scouts calling him a
All
once in a
I'm
lifetime
saying,
talent.
When it's finalized, let's say if he is end up as the second best prospect aside from LeBron or whatnot.
Okay.
You just look at his dimensions and skill set. I think the biggest problem with him not panning out, I have to watch my language around you guys, it's his injuries if he's that big. I don't think the mental aspect, you look at someone like Ben Simmons, he went through some of the nastiest mental illness stuff I've seen from the media. They were disgusting to him. And I'm not saying he's back, but he just had an incredible preseason game. Looked exactly like Ben Simmons of old.
Yeah.
Because he's a 6'10", not generational, but incredible talent. And I think when you're that kind of talent, when you have a very smooth jump shot at the release of a 7'4" man with that kind of versatility, I think it's almost impossible for the mental aspect. There's been guys who have been, Markelle Fultz. You could get the yips. It could be bad, but I just think that is such a far-fetched idea.
I don't. The only reason I don't think it's far.
It's under 1%. I think the injury percentage is much higher than the mental.
I don't think it's far fetched because of his age. My issue is the age. Ben Simmons got that stuff thrown at him after he had a max contract, after he was an all-star, after he already panned out what we thought he was going to be. I'm not. I just said he's bound to get to the hit. Like when you're in the spotlight, it doesn't matter. Bro, and it might be in a few months even. Bro, look at Zion. Look at Zion's 3 months in the spotlight. He was, bro. I've never seen a guy loved more than Zion. And for that House of Highlight. Remember we used to call it House of Zion and then House of LaMelo and then House of this. It's always like a House of Ja Morant. It's always switches. Right now, it's House of Victor Wembanyama, is it not? And I'm telling you right now, every player he's been the center of attention, they always get a bunch of media hate.
When the NBA starts back up, obviously Victor's going to get featured, but it's not. I don't think that he, to a huge extent.
I think he will. I think he's going to be all over the page. I don't care.
I think
don't care about
LaMelo
the
and
NBA.
Zion had underrated popularity because they were played out more than their talent's sake.
Yeah.
Victor doesn't have that fame aspect.
Yes,
obviously he's incredible.
I think he does.
And he's
going
to.
to
An extent, but he's not going to have like
I think,
a reality TV show.
Bro, you got to remember who's running House of Highlights and Bleach Reports. Half of those people don't even watch sports. They just take whatever they see and try to get clickbaits off of them. And Victor Wembanyama right now is a clickbait. He's a clickbait.
But do you see what I mean with the whole bust thing? I think it would be
more.
No,
but yeah, when I say bust potential, like
I don't think it's mental. I don't think it'll be mental.
I think I didn't say it was a guarantee. I said potential. I never said it was guaranteed.
You said potential, but by potential, I think it's under.
Potential means there's a chance.
Under 5%.
No, I think there's a good chance. You never know. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. He came from playing in France where nobody looked at him.
Who he is.
No,
as a person.
I'm just saying that
mental issues are.
No,
it's a possibility. If you want to just talk about it's a possibility, yes, it's a possibility.
Yeah, but you're just saying, okay, you don't know who he is either. Why are you saying under 5%? That's what I'm trying to say. Like you never know.
How do you say more? I'm just looking at the landscape of the NBA and how many people have struggled with mental issues to the point where their play has dramatically decreased to the point where they're a bust. Based on the history, I don't think there's that many guys. That's why I think the percentage is low.
Kwame Brown. Yes.
Alex Len. I'm just thinking of old drafts right now. There's a lot of guys I can think of. Nick Stauskas.
You know damn
Alex
well
Len.
Kwame Brown's mental health.
Nick, what potential did Nick Stauskas?
No, I'm not saying. And
heck?
when I say these players, I'm not saying they were supposed to be like superstars, but they were supposed to be good NBA players that just completely fell off.
And it's because of his mental issues that Nick Stauskas
No, not
was
mental
a bust?
issues. I never
Jimmer
said it was...
Fredette? What are you talking about then? I thought we were talking about
no,
mental issues.
I'm talking about the media.
Busts.
I'm not talking about mental issues like you get like depression. I'm talking about letting the ego get to your head, letting the spotlight get to your head, all that stuff.
Do you think Nick Stauskas got a big head and that's why he turned into a bust?
I'm Nick Stauskas.
No, I don't know why I said Nick Stauskas. I was just naming off the draft.
Alex Len?
Hey, but right when I was saying that, I was saying
you have had zero reputability on this episode.
No. Don't say that.
You just said Nick Stauskas had a.
I was
big head,
honestly
which
just
is why
naming
he got
off
a
bust. I wasn't even naming off the media. Wallah, I was just naming off bust.
Exactly.
I was just
So
naming
you're
off bust.
trying to add.
But
to
I
your
was
point
zoned out
with
because I
nothing.
said while I was
Oh
talking. If you
my
guys listen to me,
goodness.
if you were listening to me, I said I'm just naming off players off of this draft I'm reading right now that were busts.
I'm listening. I've been listening.
I didn't say the mental health
For
points.
no
I just
reason.
said bust.
So
I was
he
just reading it
he
off. I was
like-
just reading off
He
names.
just turned
I was
the
just reading off
steering wheel.
names.
He's like, no, I'm just gonna read off some names.
No. Z, did you not hear me say that though?
Not
Where I was like, I'm
related.
just gonna read
Oh
off some
my
names
God.
from this
He
draft.
did. He technically did say that. But can
Whatever.
let's keep moving. Can we?
Well, Z, you haven't said anything on this situation.
Hell no, because y'all been taking it. It's 11-11. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I don't even got school tomorrow.
You
I'm
taking
just
a
tired.
nap under those glasses?
Yes,
You gotta
bro,
say
I've been
something
sitting
about
here-
Listen,
Stay awake,
I'm just
stay
gonna say
awake.
this. I'm just gonna say
am
this. The reason
crying.
I say bust potential is because of the spotlight. You never know. But
There's
obviously, I
potential,
said
yes.
as a player, I think he's the best prospect since LeBron James. I'm just saying the only reason I said there is bust potential is because you see a kid that gets that much spotlight, and I'd feel bad if a bunch of people start hating on him because it's like, bro, that can affect you as a developing player, as a developing man, right? Let's be honest. And I feel like I've never seen a prospect have this many eyes on him this early. I haven't. You can't say anybody has. This is ridiculous. You have not seen every NBA superstar or former superstar. When I say that, I mean guys like Carmelo Anthony, those type of players show up to these games just to watch this guy courtside. You have all these eyes on you. You have players like literally taking time out of their day just to come see you play, tweet about you. The media is just talking about you 24/7. It's the only thing being talked about right now. You're bound to get hate very soon. You are. That's just
the way
that's
the world
life.
works.
I'm just saying, depending on how he handles that,
What's
I hope,
that future
and
quote?
I hope, and but listen, Oklahoma's in contention to get him. I want him to be the best player in the world.
It's a cold world we live in.
I want him to be the best player in the
cold
world
world.
because Oklahoma has potential to get him. I love him.
Sensational.
I'm just saying, there's potential, and
There
I
is
hope,
potential.
the potential doesn't get tapped in. I hope it doesn't.
I should have won his future for
I hope
Halloween.
NBA players or NBA fans can stop being such wiener heads.
You know what
'cause
it is, bro? NBA Twitter is just a bunch of people who have nothing to do.
It's
Like,
weird.
yeah.
It's weird. Sometimes I see
If you
some of the
look
stuff
at
and it's
if you
weird,
look at
bro.
the NBA Twitter, the NBA Twitter heads, and you look at how many tweets they post, bro, they're at some of them are at 60,000 tweets.
It's all
do
hate.
nothing.
It's all hate. Bro, look what happened to
If
Russ.
you were that opinionated,
Look what happened
make
to
a
Russ
podcast
this year, bro. That
make
broke my
a
heart.
podcast, make a TikTok. Talk
Oh,
to people
God,
about it.
bro.
Show your face.
Yeah, anything I
people-
say,
they're
like for example,
opinionated
that
people
Alex Len, Nick
that don't wanna
Stauskas
show their
stuff,
face.
that Alex Len, Nick Stauskas stuff, everybody's
show
gonna
your
flame me for
face.
that. I show my face for it though, but
Yeah.
no. Well, I was genuinely just zoned out reading off bus names.
Yeah,
and then when you said
right.
Nick Stauskas, obviously my first reaction is to defend myself because I just thought I was like, no, yeah, but I had no backing on that. I was just reading off old drafts because I started looking into Anthony Bennett and stuff.
Omri Caspi.
But yeah, no.
Right.
By the way, just an off-topic thing. Anthony Bennett wasn't supposed to be the first pick. He had no reason to be the first pick. That's why everybody makes fun of the Cavaliers. It's the stupidest pick to this day.
They thought that
think
he
of
was the
Pat
next
Williams.
LeBron.
It was literally like a Pat Williams type deal, but at least Pat Williams was Pat Williams, not
Yeah.
Anthony Bennett.
He,
Shout out to Anthony
he's-
Bennett.
he
No
needs
hate
to
towards
take a
him.
jump this year.
Yeah, shout out to Anthony Bennett. Come on, the podcast.
I think we're coming near the end of our episode.
After we just slandered him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait a
we're
minute.
like
Choo choo choo. Oh, that's not a boat sound.
a boat.
That's not a boat sound. I'm
It's
so
supposed to be the
disappointed in myself.
SSS,
It's the SSS,
the-
baby.
the choo-choo train.
Sanies.
Sandy the
Secret
conductor.
segment. I have a great question for you guys.
Z is zoned out right now.
Come on, Z. You'll sleep in 5 minutes. You just gotta answer this question for me, okay?
Can you take the glasses off just so I can know you're awake?
What if this whole time he wore them just to show he was asleep, or just to not show he was sleeping, and that's why he didn't discuss anything about Victor Wembanyama?
There's a chance that might have happened, but we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep moving.
Obviously, like we were discussing earlier, a lot of guys are coming back from injury. And I'm not gonna ask you who do you think. I have a better question, and I think the answer is no. I'll give my answer from right now. Do you guys think there is going to be a first-time All-Star this season? I think the answer is no. I don't think it's possible. Obviously it's possible, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think it's
First
gonna happen either.
All-Star.
I'm looking at
Remember, Zion was an All-Star already. He was just injured last season, but he was an
Right.
All-Star the season before. Guys who aren't All-Stars, big names like CJ McCollum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, De'Aaron Fox. I don't see any of these guys becoming an All-Star. Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards,
I
maybe.
think the one person that would have the media on his side. I mean, if you want to say Cade, that's fine. Like I understand if he were to break out, he's in a great
Right.
situation to get. Let's say if the Pistons do overperform,
Right.
and like
Right.
he would be a good pick. I think there's a chance that Rudy Gobert gets overshadowed by the Timberwolves offense, and Anthony Edwards has a shot because he already has the media.
My
and
issue is
people
they're
on
in
his
the
side.
West though, and he's a West forward. Or he's a guard. He's listed as a West guard. Is he not?
There's a I don't. He might have been a small forward last year.
I think he was
No,
a
but he's
small
in the
forward
backcourt. He's
last
gonna be in
year.
the backcourt with D'Angelo Russell now.
So then yeah.
All I'm
he'd be a
saying,
guard.
if we're talking about the best odds to do it.
But I don't think there's going to be a first-time All-Star this season. That's my prediction.
I don't think so.
But if
either.
let's say the Timberwolves by the February, like people are saying they could be a top 3 seed. Let's say they are like a 2 seed, and Cat's an All-Star, and you choose
Rudy
between.
Gobert's an All-Star.
Like there's a possibility they have 3. He's like the Wiggins.
Yeah, there is a
or
possibility.
whatnot.
I just think it's a no. I think the chances are.
I think it's definitely an outside chance.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right.
If
Well, this
we're
was
being absolutely for real, if the Timberwolves become a top 3 seed in the Western Conference, give Rudy Gobert the MVP. That's my take.
What a great
I
way to
feel like
end
he
this
deserves
episode.
it.
Thank you for listening. If you came this far, you heard a lot of nonsense. You heard a lot of argument, but it was a great episode.
It was.
Big 2-0
Rudy
coming up,
Gobert's
and when the
MVP
season
just
starts,
started.
Big 2-0 is coming up, which is an amazing milestone for us. And with the season coming up, we got a big old surprise coming.
We got a lot.
Big boy surprise.
Stay tuned. If you ain't with us now, God did.
God did.
It breaks my heart.
It
They
breaks
ain't
my
believe
heart.
in us. All right, peace out.